Hi all! In this video I'm going to review how to use the speed equation to find speed, distance, and time, and to make an explanation based on those results. So we're on the notes half sheet on page 1. So in these problems we're going to be using the speed equation, that is s equals d divided by t, or speed equals distance over time. The trick is going to be figuring out which of these we have to solve for and finding the right information in the prompt. So let's look at number 1. Number 1 says calculate the time, so I know that time is my unknown. It takes player A to reach point C, and I know this information is going to be about player A. I also know if I want time, I'm going to need speed and distance. For number 2, similarly, we want the distance. It's for player B. And if I want the distance, I'm going to need the speed and the time as well. Looking through the prompt, it says that two players, A and B, are trying to get into a position to catch a ball at point C. They start running towards point C at the same time. Player A starts at a distance of 80 meters. This is a given. I can see because it has distance and the measurement. And starts running at a speed of 4 meters per second. Player B runs at a speed of 14 meters per second for 2 seconds. Cool. I see that this distance of 80 and this speed of 4 are talking about player A. I'm going to write that into my givens. The speed for player A is 4, distance is 80. When I list out the variables that I want and them given, that's what I mean by listing your givens with units. Next, we write the equation we're going to use. The equation is already written here. I'm going to go ahead and place a check. Next, we substitute the values of the givens into the equation. S, it says, is 4. D is 80. And T is question mark. That means I don't know it, so I'm going to leave T alone. Next, I have to solve, that's our substitution. Next, I have to solve and provide an answer with units. So I have to do some algebra to get T by itself on one side. When you have something equals something over something, you can switch the position of these two. And what we get as a result is T equals 80 over 4. That is, putting it into my calculator, 20 what? Well, I know that T is time. It should have units of seconds. Bam. Let's look at number 2. It was asking us for the distance for player B. I'm going to go back to my prompt. Here's player B's information. Player B, his speed, his time is 14 and 2. I'm going to write that into my givens. Speed was 14 meters per second. Time was 2 seconds. I'm going to place a check by givens with units. I've just listed them. Next, I write my equation. Here's the speed equation up here. I'm going to write it. Next, I substitute the values in. S was 14. D was question mark. I don't know it. I'm going to leave it alone. T was 2. That's substituting. Now I'm going to solve for D so I can provide an answer with units. I see that D is divided by 2. So I multiply both sides by 2. To undo that, these 2's cancel. I'm left on the left with D equals 2 times 14, or 28. The units of distance is meters, so I know my answer should have meters. Next, let's look at number 4. Number 4 is a text clue that means something special. It says assume. When it says assume, that means the things that are following are the numbers it wants you to use. So I'm not going to use the prompt. Let's look. It runs a distance of 70 meters, 8 seconds. What was the speed? I'm asked for the speed, so I'm going to put speed equals question mark. The distance is 70 meters, and the time was 8 seconds. It doesn't say time in the prompt, but I see that the unit is seconds, so I know it's time. Great, I've listed my givens with units. I write my equation. Speed equals distance divided by time. I substitute. Speed has question marks, so I'm going to leave it alone. D was 70. T was 8. I'm going to put that into my calculator. 70 divided by 8. I got 8.75. I'm going to round to the nearest tenths place. That's what I usually do. That's what you can usually do. So I have 8.8 meters per second. Okay. Lastly, it wants us to know which player catches the ball. Looking back at the prompt, I see that they left at the same time. So whoever took less time to get there, got there first. Let's look. Person A got there in 20 seconds. Person B got there in 2 seconds. Clearly, person B got there first. So I will say person B will catch ball. I've written who gets there first because B took 2 seconds. I've stated the time when one of the objects got there. And person A took 20 seconds. Way longer. Clearly, they would not catch the ball. Using these example notes as a guide, take the remainder of your work time to complete at least 2 problem sets from pages 3, 4, and 5. So you should complete page 3 and 4, page 5 extra credit. Watch this video again if you get stuck, and then ask for help. Good luck.